Imagine a year where, howdy partner, welcome to the West, we're doing a bonus battle.
Wow, Lee, yippee-ki-yay, what year is that, Sancho?
Why, it's 1969, which is a good year, because that's the sex number. Yeehaw!
Comedy.
Hello and welcome to the season finale of Oldie But a Goodie, kinda. Technically, we're continuing the gimmick next year. Hi, my name's Sandro, and I'm on the moon! We landed here last episode. It's 1969. It's the end of the year, and what a year it's been. Why, it all started when I got bumped on the head by Zach's time travel ray. And it's just been a series of misadventures traveling through time with the orphan, who turned out to be my arch nemesis, Harry Grindle Matthews, who is wrecking time for no apparent reason, just going through time and wrecking it, really. I do hate that man, and that's why I'm here on the moon, and I'm gonna kill him. That's my plan. My plan is to kill Harry Grindle Matthews.
Well, I think the point was that you kept smashing plates, and it turned out that the thing was he was a plate maker, and he was upset about that.
Well, that too, but he's brought Elon Musk to the 30s, so I'm gonna kill Harry.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna kill him.
Well, that seems drastic, but understandable.
And you're a man from NASA. We're on a secret mission here on the moon, and just before we head out, I've got to say, I respect you, sir.
I bet you do, Sandro, my boy.
Oh, that's felt ominous, and I vaguely recognize that voice from somewhere else, but I'm not going to question it because the mission is too important. I'm getting out onto the moon. I'm out here. I'm walking on the moon. It's one small step, but it's one big finale for the podcast. All right, Harry Grindle Matthews, where are you?
I'm on the moon. I'm on the moon. I'm over the moon. I'm technically floating a little bit above the moon, so I'm over the moon.
Oh my god, it's young. It's Orphan Harry, as I call you.
Hello?
Hello, I didn't know that you were here. I thought it was gonna be adult Harry, not Orphan Harry.
Oh, sorry, I'll just go get him.
Oh, okay. Okay, sure.
What's up? We're busy here. Look, younger self, I know you're very over the moon and at the moment, but, I'm busy right now with the whole thing, the plan to destroy Sandro and the podcast and all that.
I'm a little bit confused, actually. There seems to be a lot of twisting, turning, winding ways this week. Could you give me a little bit of a hint as to what I'm meant to be doing?
I'm Harry Grindle Matthews. You're also Harry Grindle Matthews, but you're me from the past, and I'm you for the future.
There can only be one!
Whoa. We've been over this. There can be multiples quite easily.
Oh, okay. There can be multiples.
I feel like I shouldn't be listening to this. This was a private conversation.
Wait. It's Sandro's here. Orphan me. Why didn't you tell me Sandro was here?
Orphan you? What do you mean, orphan you?
Oh my god, I can't be explaining this again to myself. How am I this dense?
Hang on, but who's supposed to know? Do you know, hey Sandra, do you know that the astronaut is actually your nemesis yet, or has that not been revealed yet?
What? Hang on, the astronaut I'm traveling with is Harry Grindle Matthews?
Oh, whoops,
yes.
We spoiled it!
Yes, it's me, Harry Grindle Matthews. I was the astronaut traveling with you as well, and that's me from the future, and that's me from the past.
Bum, bum, bum!
Wait, hang on a second. So we've got young orphan Harry Grindle Matthews, so Harry Grindle Matthews from past. We got present Harry over there, and your future Harry?
Yes.
We've got the Harry of past, present, and future?
Yes. We're going to teach you a lesson in a metaphorical sense.
Yeah, and you're going to stop being so miserly about your savings.
No, that's not the lesson we're teaching. I know.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my god, there's so many Harrys on here. Which one do I have to kill? I think if I kill Orphan Harry, then that'll chop the rest of you two off because of time, right?
No, don't touch me, because if you kill one of the others, I still have a chance to sprout into someone who is not evil.
That's true, and we did spend a lot of time together this year.
Yeah.
Orphan, I keep calling you that, Harry, young Harry.
Maybe we've discovered a bond.
We did discover a bond.
A shared love of plates, perhaps?
I'm gonna throw this out there. We didn't. He's lying right now. I'm him from the future. He's a liar.
But that's you. I'm from one possible
You should kill
future.
You should kill the youngest one.
As we know already,
You should kill
there
him.
can be multiple.
There seems to be a lot of infighting within the Harry Grindle Matthews. It doesn't
Look, we
seem...
don't agree on everything, but we are the same person.
It is true. There's a lot of inner conflict. Possibly some issues there that we need to, sort out.
I can't believe we're arguing on the moon.
Wait, what are you doing on the moon? What are you... Is this all to stop me? You're on the moon to stop me?
No, really, I wasn't even thinking about you, to be perfectly honest. I was just thinking that the moon would be a really wonderful place to make a plate factory because of the low gravity. It would mean that if you threw a plate, it would be easier to catch it before it fell, and so you wouldn't break as many plates. That's the honest truth.
That's a great idea.
That's a really good idea,
This
yeah.
kid's a genius.
Thank you so much for acknowledging my skills and learnings. My brain is very big right now because of the moon's gravity.
Yep,
Something about how my brain is less mass, I think. So I'm going to open a plate factory if you don't mind.
Yep, you keep going. Yep.
All right. And he's just walking off. He's just walking off to make a plate factory.
Gonna make some blueprints.
My idea was to bring you here so that we could have our final duel.
Oh.
And I thought it'd be cool on the moon. Obviously, I've brought the rest of me here. Yes, I'm here. And we're gonna have a duel, all right?
Yes.
And a classic Western showdown, as I'm sure you're familiar with, because of the whole 19th century being full of Westerns. So I thought it would be a fitting end to my nemesis, Sandro Felce.
Wait, so you want a Western showdown just like how in the movies, because you assume that I've seen...
Of course. Westerns are my favorite.
Right, because you assume that I've watched a bunch of Westerns. We haven't done any Westerns this year, Harry.
What? That was my whole plan. How did you not? There was like a good Western every year. How did you not watch one Western?
We haven't watched a single one, but Zach did chose to do 2 Westerns this year, so I guess maybe if you let him teleport into your mind, we can do the podcast. We'll watch some Westerns. I'll figure out what a Western showdown is, and then we can have this big Western duel at the end of the episode.
Fine. All right, you do that. I'm going to go babysit my past self before he breaks something again. And we'll be back here in like an hour, yeah?
Yeah, about an hour, 2 hours. Who knows how long it'll take? It's Christmas.
Right, okay.
We're probably drinking.
Yeah, well, that's fair. You know what? That'll make it easier even. You know what? That's perfect. Everything's going great. Okay, you do that. I'll be back. Easy done.
Cool. All right, well, just let Zach teleport in and then and we'll do it. Oh my god, Zach, you're here on the moon now.
Yeah, I'm on the moon. I have no idea of the current plot that's going on. There's a lot of it. I can feel it in the air. It's like a haze.
There's a lot of plot, but because people are probably tuning in for the first time, we're not going to acknowledge it for the next hour and a half.
Yep. Oh, I'm gonna waft that plot away. Do you know what's anti-plot though, Sandro? That will help. Cowboys. No plot here. No plot to be found.
You have a good point, and that's why we're going to be doing a bonus battle Western edition. Pew, 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 pew. Zach, we haven't had a very good track record of reviewing Westerns on this podcast.
Yeah. What Westerns have we previously done?
Oh, God.
What are some of the other Westerns we done?
Well, last year we did Texas Rangers, which I don't remember very well, but I do remember us having to buy that on Google Play and watch it together because it wasn't available anywhere.
Yeah, Texas Rangers. No, that was pretty bad.
That was pretty terrible. We did Crossfire Trail last year. That was fine.
Oh, yeah, we had that long one where I think that was Texas Rangers.
Maybe.
Where they got a group of people and they were just chased after
that was Texas Rangers,
over to the Mexican border, and then, like, they had a fight out against the mob boss and Mexicans, and it was,
And Usher was in it as well. Remember that?
Yeah. It was like, it had these great actors in this terrible fucking film.
What other westerns have we done? We haven't done a whole lot because we just don't get good ones on the show. Is kind of why.
And you know what, Sandro? We did the years. We've just done the years where we could have done all these good westerns, because this is the golden age of westerns, and we never did them.
Yeah, like, I want to say, like, late 1940s all the way to probably, like, early 70s. That's when westerns were big, and we did other stuff.
But now, we're finally going to do some westerns. We did it. We watched some westerns, and it's time to compare them. And I'd say they're a good comparison.
I think these are two pretty solid westerns.
Yeah. You've got a good comparison of the main characters being the banditos, and the main characters being the non-banditos.
Oh, yeah.
And the main banditos being chased by law authorities, and the main characters chasing the banditos.
You've got a really good point. We're talking about True Grit, and we're talking about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, by the way, if you didn't know that. And yeah, you're right. In True Grit, they are kind of like law enforcement trying to find the bandits, and then in Butch Cassidy, they are the bandits. This is a good point.
Yeah, both sides of the same coin. The same Western coin. Flip it in the air, pew, shoot it out of the air.
We really should have done the Clint Eastwood trilogy,
yeah.
Good, the Man, and the Art. We probably should have done those instead, but I'm glad that we did these two westerns, and we're going to do some non-spoiler first impressions of both films before we get into the bonus battle, where, of course, there are no opinions, it's only objective facts.
Yes, only objective facts.
And if you haven't heard a bonus battle before, don't worry, the rules change literally every time.
Yeah, we just kind of make them up. The rules are that we make them up when we do it.
Yep.
Every time.
Every single time. All right, Zach, what do you want to start with? I feel like True Grit's probably a good place to start, but what do you want to start with?
I want to start with the one you named because you chose it, and therefore I take no blame for your horrible decisions.
That's true, I did choose these movies, but also you gave me the idea to do the bonus battle, so technically it's your fault. Anyway.
Absolutely. We could share blame.
Bloody True Grit, Zach, is a movie that is not the remake with Matt Damon from 2010.
Ooh.
We're not doing that one. This is actually the John Wayne movie called True Grit. And John Wayne kind of sucks, but he is in a lot of westerns, and he's pretty cool as an actor.
Whoa. As an actor? Uh-oh. What do you mean, Sandro? What do you mean?
What do you mean? John Wayne is just the worst, but he's so fucking good in westerns, though. Like, oh my god. He looks big. He just looks big and imposing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say, yeah.
Well, he looks big, and then they gave him an eye patch, which makes him imposing. So, you know, he's got the double.
Exactly, and in True Grit, he plays a guy called Marshall Rooster Cogborn, but I would say his name's closer to Long John I'm on a horse, because this is just Treasure Island, but...
Long John Silver! I was thinking that the whole time!
Yeah.
Is he the same actor?
No, I don't think John Wayne played him at any point. He pretty much only did westerns, but he did do, like, fucking over 100 westerns or something.
Yeah. Well, he definitely felt like a Long John Silver, because he talks a bit like that.
He does indeed.
Which is one of my favorite just characters, full stop, of all time.
Yeah, go back to our episode on Treasure Island to check out why Zach likes Long John Silver. It's a plug. We're at the end of the year, and we're going on break for a month, so you may as well catch up on old episodes if you want. Anyway, True Grit, Zach, what did you think of this movie? What did you think of this one?
I enjoyed it. It was a little long.
Yeah.
By little, I mean a lot, but,
What do you mean the first 45 minutes could have been 20?
Could have been
even 10.
Yeah, like, I would say the first hour could have been 10 minutes, and then we would have had an hour and 10 movie, but it was still pretty good. I liked the villain being a big old piece of shit. I liked the female lead, that she got a more, like, role in the movie.
It's true.
The characters definitely had to grow on me. At first, I was not down with any of the characters, really.
I mean, they do all... I mean, she's not too bad, but the rest are kind of the worst.
Yeah. Especially the Texas Ranger. We'll get into why.
Fucking LaBeef, that piece of shit.
Definitely, I probably enjoyed Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid more.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later. But my personal opinion, I definitely didn't dislike this movie.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie by any means.
And definitely by the end of it, mostly because I think of Treasure Island, that I was like, Long John Silver over here, I was like, I like this guy. I like this guy.
Yeah, actually, I will give my first impressions. I pretty much agree with you. But
I think he carries the film.
I agree, yeah. The general plot of this is you've got Kim Darby, her dad is shot, and then she's like, I need to find the guy who killed it, so she recruits John Wayne, and they go try and find him. That's pretty much the whole... And that's the premise of the film, and then there's a bunch of other people who show up. My thing with this movie is like, and I'm like this with a lot of Westerns, they feel like side quests.
Yeah.
This movie feels like a Red Dead Redemption 2 side quest that you go on, like, a character's like, my daddy was shot, you gotta help me. And then you go on this adventure.
Oh, absolutely. You follow them, you pick up the travelers, you learn their stories, and then, like, the plot sort of finishes up and you go your separate ways, and then they become just an NPC for the rest of the game.
Yeah, like, this doesn't feel like a main plot, which, I mean...
No.
Like, and I guess, you know, Westerns were the superhero movies of their time. I'm sure that you could say that about a lot of superhero movies that are coming up now.
Oh, absolutely.
They feel like side quests, which is fine. You know, side quests are fun, but I don't know. I feel like I wanted a bit more meat here, especially considering this movie's 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh my, Sandro, keep this PG.
But yeah, it was fun. It was not too bad. There's some good stuff in there. I liked a lot of the action. It was pretty good.
It's a cute little adventure. I think if it was shorter, it would have been a lot better.
I agree.
It would have felt more concise. It would have felt like more exciting, more adventure, right? You know, you get into the gritty. But because it's so long, it's hard to, like, really, like, get in with the film, you know? And it does feel like a side quest in the fact that it's like an escort quest where it's taking too fucking long.
It literally is, yeah.
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, though, pretty fucking great.
Yeah, let's rate True Grit. What would you give it? Oldie or goodie?
This is hard because I enjoyed it, but I want to give it a oldie. But not because it's bad, but because it is old. And it suffers from age. It doesn't feel like a modern movie. It feels like an old movie with its old-fashioned values.
It does feel like an old TV movie that you'd watch.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I caught my dad watching this on TV, and I have seen the ending of this before.
Oh,
because
there you go.
He was watching it on TV. I swear I've seen parts of this before. So yeah, it is that sort of vibe.
If this was a standalone movie that we had watched during the year, I probably would have given it a goodie. Because it's just on that border.
Yeah.
But this is the end of the year. This is our final episode. This is where the harshness comes out. I hate Christmas, canonically.
That's why we're doing Westerns. This is the
exactly.
furthest away we can get from Christmas. This episode's going out on Christmas Day, which I find hilarious. And we're doing Westerns, which is very funny.
Yeah, fuck your Christmas. But this is where the harsh criticisms come out. And I'm giving it an oldie because I'm going to give Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid a goodie.
Oh, definitely.
And I feel like the parallels between them are a great finisher for this year, you know?
I agree. I think that Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is probably one of the better movies we've done this year, and we could have just done that, because True Grit pales in comparison, honestly.
Oof.
I think I would say that Butch Cassidy has True Grit, and the movie True Grit, it's just got regular gravel.
Oh,
that's why it's just regular gravel. No, it's fine.
Change title, just regular gravel.
I want to watch the remake. I haven't seen the Coen Brothers version, but it's got to be better than this. I don't know if I'll give it an oldie though.
No, you could give it a goodie. You could give it a goodie. I just feel like I'm going to give it an oldie and a goodie for the end of the year, you know?
For sure. I feel like True Grit is it was a bit slow. I think I texted you during it being like, oh my god, this movie's so slow.
Yeah. You texted me that. I'm like, it's not going to be that slow. I watched it. Oh, it is that slow.
It is that slow. No, it's an oldie for me too.
Okay. Again, not a bad movie, just suffers from time.
I mean, it's a pretty good Western. It's a pretty good kind of like they're churning them out Western sort of movie, you know?
Absolutely. It's a cut and piece out of their time.
Exactly. Whereas Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid
Feels timeless.
What a bloody fucking movie, Zach. So the plot of this one is there's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and they are outlaws, and they got to run from the law. That's the whole movie.
Yeah. I was about to say, there's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids, and they're outlaws. That's it. And then we just watch their shenanigans happen, and it's all right because Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid have great chemistry.
This is a great buddy cop movie, except they're not cops, they're outlaws.
Outlaws, right? Yeah. Because Butch Cassidy's the brains, and Sundance Kid's is the brawn. And by brawn, we mean guns, because he shoots things.
He's a fucking badass. He shoots people so well.
Yep, that's his thing. And they have great rapport. And it's like, this is the thing that Marvel movies are getting wrong at the moment. Marvel movies are making jokes, right? They're trying hard to be funny. Whereas Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid are just two dudes hanging out together. And they keep, throwing shit at each other, They're just, jiving.
I would argue that the most recent Marvel movie, The Marvels, is just three characters hanging out in space making small talk, which I think is pretty good. It's pretty good.
Well, that's great. I haven't seen it, so I can't say.
But also, Western movies are the superhero movies of their time, and, it's a good comparison.
I saw Thor Love and Thunder and...
Oh, God.
The fucking Sorcerer Supreme, whatever the fucking that movie was. And all the things felt like, here's a joke! You like jokes, right, kids? Here's a joke! And I'm like, no, I liked it when the characters felt real and felt like they were just making dumb jokes together, not at me.
Well, it's kind of funny that you would describe Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid as a movie that's not trying to just do jokes, because it is written by William Goldman, who wrote the Princess Bride novel and the movie.
Whoa!
As well.
Whoa! He's a great writer!
He's a fantastic writer. And yeah, I think, his, almost parody of Western movies comes through in this.
Yeah.
It's kind of a parody, but it's also really artsy as well.
Well, I think it's less a parody, more a love for he's a fan of Westerns, right?
Yeah.
And so he has that intimate knowledge of Westerns and therefore can poke fun at Westerns in a good way, I feel. And that's it. It's less making jokes and more poking fun.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. It's poking fun.
And it's fantastic. This movie is so fun. The characters are great, aside from the few moments when you're reminded that they're criminals and they're kind of the worst. It's shot really well. I don't know. It's great.
I don't know if they're the worst. They're literally pointed out that they're pretty nice guys,
There's one scene where I was like,
yeah. There's one scene, but that's a fake out scene.
It is a fake out scene.
That's the problem with that scene. And that scene, we'll get to it. We'll get to it later. But that scene, yikes!
Ugh, but
big yikes!
I think this is not only is this one of the best westerns I think I've ever watched. A lot of westerns I watch, I'm like, that's fine, whatever. And then the ones that I really enjoy are neo-westerns, they're more modern westerns. I don't love old westerns, you know what I mean? This is an old western where I'm like, this is an old western, but it feels new.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
It feels timeless. Unlike True Grit, which feels old, this feels like this could have been made today, right? And everyone's favorite Doc Hudson from Cars, the movie, Paul Newman, real good. I like Cars, the movie, and everyone's favorite character, Doc Hudson. I think everyone can agree.
That's true. But what about everyone's favorite Alexander Pierce from Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Robert Redford, as Sundance Kid?
Whoa!
Yep, he was a Hydra agent the whole time. Whoa!
Yeah, whoa! That's crazy. They're both still acting. But as soon as I saw Paul Newman was I didn't realize Paul Newman was Doc Hudson in Cars. I was like, what? That's crazy. The guy I just watched is fucking Doc Hudson. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, that was one of the last things he did, I think, was Cars. I think he passed away a couple years after that. Paul Newman in this is fucking great. I love them both.
Yeah, they're so good. You've got you got Paul Hudson as the goofy boy. Paul Hudson. I'm just, they're the same character in my mind.
We're calling him Paul Hudson now.
Doc Newman. He's the funny, silly guy, and then you got the Sundance Kid, and he's the straight man, and they do it perfectly. It's really good.
It's great. It's so good, and they do shootouts. But yeah, like the movie, the theme of the movie is so strong, which is the Westerns are over. And you need to move on is kind of the whole point of the movie. But also, it's also like nostalgic for Westerns. It's pretty much just Red Dead Redemption 2. But the whole point of that game was, hey, the Westerns are over and you're irrelevant as a cowboy.
Yeah. It's like one of the plot points of these older Westerns was the killing of cowboys, because there was that era of cowboys. And the need for cowboys just sort of like died out, and so did the cowboys with them. They were a bygone era. And it's kind of crazy, that sort of passage of history where you have like things that were necessary at the time, like horses. Back in the day, they were your messengers, your cars, your everything. And nowadays, we can text someone and they'll get it within like 3 seconds, and we'll take an Uber.
Exactly.
Like, we don't need them anymore. It's that passage of time. It's almost timeless, the passage of time, I would say. I did mention to you before the show that I almost felt like these were two established characters.
You did say that.
Who had their own series beforehand.
Yeah, you were like, is this a sequel to something?
Yeah. Well, it felt like the ending movie to a, like, TV series, right? You know what I mean?
I get what you mean.
But I think that was just because they did this movie so well.
I think that's because, like, Westerns were so popular at the time that they didn't really need to set up characters because you know the archetype.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying, I think it was good.
Yeah.
I think it was a boon to this movie. That I wanted there to be more, you know?
Yeah. And also, like, this movie's only like an hour 50. I could have watched this for so much longer.
Yeah. It's only like 10, 15 minutes less than True Grit, but it felt way less long.
Yeah, True Grit feels long and like you're watching 3 episodes of a TV show, just long and slow. Whereas this one feels like a bloody film, let me tell you that much.
We don't like it long and slow, we want it thick and hard.
Ugh, it's true. Just like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, they are definitely gay.
Whoa! No, Sandra, you're putting gay people into my films again. No!
That is, like, going into this movie, the only things I knew about it was that everyone thinks that they love each other.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a bromance.
Yeah, I don't see it being a romantic romance. I see it as as a friendly, platonic, not like Calamity Jane. Calamity Jane, now that's a queer movie. This one, not so much.
Look, I'll give you Calamity Jane. You know, I'm not gonna fight you anymore on Calamity Jane. But yeah, this one, like, I'm gonna say they have a wife. You know, like
they share a woman, which is very odd. We'll get to it later.
Well, they don't share it entirely. You know. It's a goodie. We're done with non-spoiler. We're giving this a goodie. We talked about this like twice as much as True Grit already.
It's true.
Let's move on.
I agree. This is a goodie for me. One of my favorites of the year. Probably like 4.5 stars from me. Like almost 5, except for one scene that we'll get to.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, this is definitely a 4.5. I would rate True Grit like a 3.
Yeah, I agree. True Grit is a 3.
Which normally 3s could get into the goodies, but 3s are borderline for me, and so I dunk it with the oldie.
And yeah, like True Grit, it was remade. There is a sequel to True Grit starring John Wayne. He hangs out with like some old lady or something and they do stuff. Butch Cassidy It's got a prequel that came out at some point.
There you go.
In the late 70s.
See, I told you people want more.
But they are remaking it. The Russo brothers behind The Winter Soldier, behind Infinity War, behind Endgame, behind Community. They are doing an Amazon TV show based on this.
Oh, that's fucking epic. If it's as good as this movie, I'm going to watch that show, because this movie, pretty good.
Yeah, and the guys that they've cast is like one of the guys from Bridgerton and the D&D movie, and then also Glenn Powell, who just looks like the whitest American guy ever from Top Gun Maverick. I guess he's probably Butch Cassidy. I'm like, this is pretty good. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Glenn Powell does give me either of them vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
He could do either of them, I feel.
I think it's pretty good. It's goodie for Butch Cassidy, and that's where we throw opinions out the window. They're out of here now. Bye, opinions.
Yep, all right.
Get out of here.
Opinion's gone. Yep. Sorry, let me pick up my opinion. Oh, I dropped it. Sounded like a plate smashing. Whoops.
It did sound like a plate smashing. That's correct. Well, hello there. My name's Sally McSeller. I'm an American, and I'm here to wish you a Happy New Year. Just kidding. I'm also here to sell you patreon.com/oldie but a goodie pod. Do you want to support Sandro and Zach through their podcasting adventures? Head over to patreon.com/oldie but a goodie pod and get bonus episodes like Friday the 13th Part 7. They reviewed it. Here's a clip. We've got Melissa. She's the rich one. I called her Princess Diana in my notes because she looks like Princess Diana. Not saying Princess Diana's mean, I'm just saying that what she was wearing looks very similar to something Princess Diana would wear.
I'm gonna hit you with a what the fuck, Sandra? That's fucked up.
And then the other characters...
Whoa. Before we move on, for you saying something even worse than before, I want you cancelled on Twitter for saying that character was Princess Diana.
That guy, she looks like she's dressed like Princess Diana. I don't know what to say.
They're a bitch character. She's the rich bitch.
I guess. But I don't like saying that, so I'm calling her Princess Diana.
Rich bitch. Yeah, no, instead you're insulting the name of Princess Diana, our beloved monarch, our true queen.
Our beloved monarch? No monarchs are beloved, but she was one of the good ones, it's true. Oh my god, that was such a great clip, and you can head over to patreon.com/oldie buddy goodie pod to get every single Friday the 13th review, including that one of number 7. It's spooky ooky, and I'm Sally McSeller. I'm an American. Oh, by the way, head to Patreon. You can also get ad-free and bonus episodes of the main show. That's crazy. And one bonus episode a month. Sometimes 2 if they're doing a special event. It's fucking amazing. Oh, I swore I should have done that. Yeehaw!
It's time for us to use objective facts to find out which is the better cowboy movie? We're cowboyness. We're going to rate them on cowboyness, I feel, right?
We are going to rate them on cowboyness because every single category that we're going to be doing, it starts with the word cowboy. Now, Zach, if you haven't heard of Bonus Battle before, here's what we do. We got 2 movies. We got no opinions.
0 opinions.
We only got true facts.
Only true facts.
We're going to bring up a category. We're going to discuss the category. We're going to come up with a rating out of 5 for each movie in that category. Now, Zach, are we coming up with a rating together, or are we both separately rating this?
I like it when we come together. I feel like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, you know, they're a team. They're a buddy cop. They come up with things together, right?
They definitely would have been podcasters if there were podcasts around in the 1800s.
They'd be film bros. Just like...
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, they're definitely film bros, 100%.
Absolutely. So I say we come up with them together as a team, as a bandito team.
I like it. And we should also say complete spoilers, spoilerino, as we get into this bonus battle.
Yes. I would recommend going and watch Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and then maybe True Grit if you really want to. Probably just watch the one with Matt Damon.
Yeah, just watch the remake with Matt Damon where he plays the worst guy in the original movie.
Nice!
As soon as he showed up, as soon as the beef showed up, I was like, is that Matt Damon?
Oh.
And then I was like, no, it's not Matt Damon. But then I was like, wait, is that who Matt Damon plays in the remake? And it is, which is very funny. Anyway.
That's funny.
Spoiler alert. Let's get into the bonus battle with Cowboy Plot.
Ooh, Cowboy Plot. That's a good category.
We've got to rate the plot out of 5.
Yeehaw. Cowboy Plot. Which movie do you want to start with, partner?
I don't know. Which movie do you want to start with?
Let's do True Grit.
All right, True Grit.
Plot-wise, you got young girl, dad dies from piece of shit. By the way, I like the villain in this one.
I love the villain in this, yeah.
He is just a piece of shit. He's just he has zero redeeming qualities.
He does.
But he feels almost realistic in how he just, says he's just unlucky. He's like that guy, it's like, oh, I'm so unlucky. Oh, I'm so... It's not fair on me specifically, as he's going around, people are, generously letting them into their houses, giving him shelter, giving him food, all this thing, and then he, shoots them, and then people get mad and go after him, and he's like, oh, why are you mad at me? I'm so unlucky. All these people are after me. It's so unlucky. And I'm like, someone shoot this guy. Fuck this fucking guy. And then they do, and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, no, I liked him as just the worst. I also liked the bad guy of this movie, which is Lucky Ned Pepper, which is who the bad guy hides out with. He was really cool. I liked him. Lucky Ned Pepper.
Oh, yeah, with his little, shot lip. That was pretty cool.
Look, the plot of True Grit is...
The plot's good. The problem is it's so long.
The problem is it's just stretched out.
Yeah. It's... Yeah, you spread it too thin, Yet the real meat is spread out. It's like eating a sandwich, and every 3 bites you just get piles of salad, and then 1 bite out of the 4 you'll get some actual meat in it,
For sure. I liked a lot of the action set pieces. I thought that they were cool, particularly one with a cabin that was really fun. But in terms of the plot, yeah, nothing really happens.
It's mostly horseback riding, and B plot, because they have this whole scene with hanging. That whole scene with hanging, didn't need it in the film. Wasn't necessary, just took up screen time for no reason. I did like the whole female lead, though.
Yeah, but that goes under acting and characters, I think.
Yeah, again, yeah, absolutely. But, it being a female lead is part of the plot, I would say.
That's true.
The plot is that she loses her father, and she personally goes after it, and she bullies people into but she's like a girl, young girl, and they're like, what do you mean? We don't expect anything from you, we're men. And then she is like, nah, fuck you, I have a gun, I'm gonna shoot you, idiot, bang.
Oh my god, her gun is so fucking funny, it's so big. I agree. I think, and it's interesting as well that this is a movie with a young woman playing the lead character, particularly a cowboy movie, particularly a John Wayne cowboy movie, because he was very conservative. It's very interesting that this was made at all. But I think that she's a really good character. I agree. I wonder because this is based on a book, I wonder how old she is in the book compared to the movie. You know what I mean? Because I think in the remake, she's meant to be 10.
Oh.
I feel like maybe a 2, I don't know, 2.5.
I'd give it a 2.5. I'd give it a 2.5. Because the plot itself isn't too bad. The problem is it's stretched out. Because you just got, you essentially just got the law enforcement going after some banditos, and they have some, problems,
Yeah.
And it's just there's a lot of fluff. And if they took out the fluff, this would be a great film. But it's a little too much fluff. But otherwise, it's pretty good.
But Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid is also not much. There's not much plot.
That's true. Yeah. There's a bit of fluff as well.
It's not fluff. It's
It's a little fluff. Not as much as True Grit, that's for sure.
Not as much.
But I think it's just the plot of cowboy movies doesn't matter, so they don't bother too much with plot.
What do you mean they're also doing that with superhero movies in current days? Well, the plot doesn't matter.
What?
Yeah, so Butch Cassidy runs a gang, and with the gang, they rob the same train twice.
Well, they rob banks and then trains.
Yeah. They mainly do banks, but they're like, we should do trains. And they do trains, and it's very funny, and we'll get to that later. But because they've robbed the same train twice, the guy who owns that particular train sends all the best lawmen after these two, and then they just got to run around for ages.
Yep. That's the plot.
I mean, they do go to Bolivia and then get famous again by robbing banks.
Yes, which is very funny.
That whole sequence is so fun. I loved how, like, they walk into a bank to go and rob it, but they just don't speak the language, so they're like, oh, we'll come back in, like, a week.
Yeah. It was great.
It is good, but, like, plot-wise, it's also pretty loose. But here's the thing, though. I feel like True Grit is too long for the amount of plot it has.
Yes.
Whereas Butch Cassidy takes its time.
Well, I feel like it's not carried by the plot, though.
No.
I feel like the plots are actually pretty similar in their plotness.
It's true. But I preferred Butch Cassidy, so I'm gonna rate this a 3, I reckon. How about you? What do you think? Do you agree?
I'll give it a 3. I was thinking giving it a 2.5, to be honest.
Okay.
Tying them up on the old plot. Because thinking about it, there is a bit more complications, I feel, because the plot changes in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Because first the plot is trying to get money by robbing things, right? But then the plot changes because they're getting chased now. And so it's like the plot moves on. Whereas I feel like in the plot in True Grit is like it's one plot. And they just keep going with that.
But also, the plot of Butch Cassidy is also the westerns are over and you need to stop doing this. That's kind of in the plot itself. Whereas True Grit doesn't have anything extra going on, really.
Yeah, okay. So I'll definitely give it a 3. But is that plot or just good writing?
I mean, it's just good writing. It's the guy who did Princess Bride, so it's pretty good writing.
Yeah, so I don't think that counts as plots. So we'll just put that as 3.
All right, the next category is cowboy acting, partner.
Ooh,
cowboy
acting. Yeah.
True Grit. John Wayne's pretty good.
Yeah, John Wayne's pretty good. The girl did her best.
She's fine.
Yes, which makes her fine. She was doing her best, and I appreciated it.
I liked her most of the time. There were a couple of scenes where I think she was just acting too young.
Well, that's the thing, right? If you look at her and look at all the young actors, they kind of acted like that, which is they're weird. I don't know what it is. It's like the child acting or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking here. She was 21 and the character's meant to be 14.
Wait, she was 21?
She was 21, yeah.
Oh, she felt like 16, 17. She was meant to be 14? Because I thought she was 16. That was my guess as to her age.
I think she's pretty, like, when she's acting by herself, it's not great. When she's acting with John Wayne, it's actually kind of good. They've got good chemistry.
Yeah, they've got good chemistry. Absolutely. Whereas, obviously, John Wayne's pretty good. I love when he's acting drunk.
Yes.
This is very dumb.
Yes.
She tries to argue with him, and he's just kind of dumb. I don't know if it was realistic, but it was very dumb, so it was funny.
It was funny. I liked Glenn Campbell as LaBouffe, too. I thought he was good. He's actually a country singer. He wasn't an actor first. So I think he does a really good job at playing a pretty gross character. I liked him in this. I liked Robert Duvall as Ned Pepper, the main bad guy. And also Dennis Hopper is just randomly in this. He plays the kid. I think he's the kid who's killed by his friend or something like that. Oh, I liked the guy, the chicken man, because Ned Pepper has his group of outlaws and one of them just keeps making chicken noises.
Oh yeah, there's one outlaw that just makes animal noises because they're insane.
That's good.
But they can shoot well, so they're tolerated.
I'm gonna probably, I don't know. What do you think?
I'll give it like a 3.
Yeah, 3's good.
You know, they're pretty endearing characters, except for one.
Yeah. They better be if you're spending this much bloody time with them. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Doc, what's his name, and the Hydra guy, they're pretty great.
Doc Hudson and Hydra guy.
They're both excellent. They're great in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid, both of those, 2 lead actors, both amazing. Both carrying the scenes in. And I liked the female actress as well. She doesn't get a main role, unlike the other one, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, Catherine Ross is her name. I think the problem here is she is a woman in a Western movie.
Yeah.
And that's how she's written.
Yeah.
So she doesn't really have a character, but...
She has more of a character than most, I'd say. There's that random train conductor that comes back. That was pretty good. But he's only in the movie twice.
Oh my god, apparently one of the guys at the start of the movie, because it opens with the Sundance Kid playing cards, one of the guys at the very start of that movie was Sam Elliott, who we've done...
Oh yeah, Sam Elliott.
He was like the original Ghost Rider in that.
Yeah.
He's in this. That's kind of funny.
Sam Elliott's really good.
He's a great actor. It's funny that he was an extra in this. I think it's pretty consistently good. But obviously the main 2 are great, and then everyone else is just really good in the supporting role, you know?
Absolutely. All the supporting roles were really like for their like one scenes, pretty great.
I liked the sheriff of the town who's like, oh, you guys fucking can't. All right, tie me up. You can find the stuff over there. Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah. No, I think he like used to be a sheriff and then like now he was mayor, sort of like the old, like he knew the guys. Yeah. That was great. That was a great scene where he's like, all right, I told you fellas not to bother me again. We had a deal. You fucking idiots. All right, tie up my wrists. There's some cloths in that drawer over there that you can gag me with. You fucking idiots. You're gonna get yourselves killed. You should have pulled out of that game long ago, and now you're gonna have to pay the price.
I mean, a 4, maybe? 4.5?
So just the two main actors, they're great acting. I would give a 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5.
I'm gonna give it a full 4.5. Because, yeah, they carry the movie. And it's like, watching these, I'm like, damn, I wish Marvel movies were a bit more like these at the moment, you know? Yes, I will keep shitting on Marvel. Fuck them.
That's fair. The next category, True Grit might be able to get some points here because it's cowboy action, partner.
Ooh, cowboy action.
The bloody shootouts and True Grit, it's pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, it's pretty good action. I like the cabin scene where Wayne Johnson over here, he gets the Texas Ranger to put his like coat over the top of the chimney, which starts to smoke them out.
Yeah, that was so good.
And so it forces them to either come out shooting or when they're like blinded pretty much, or surrender. And then so they surrender and they capture them.
That was great. I liked that whole sequence. I liked the there's like another shootout that happens just after that as well, which was really, really solid.
I like the fact that every time they have a conversation, they're like, "There's like 50 Rangers out here."
Oh yeah,
and
every time
a conflict happens, and the bandits are like, "Who are you?" and it's like, "There's 50 Rangers." All the bandits, every time that's said, they're like, "Nah, there isn't. Fuck you."
Yeah, it only works one time, and I think it's when John Wayne's like, "Yeah, I'm probably lying, but do you want to risk it? Like, you're gonna die in a cabin."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, he plays that card, which is like, ooh, got him.
Yeah, I liked the scene where Matty is the main character's name, and she's like, as she confronts the main bad guy, and she's like, well, you better surrender, because there's 50 men behind me. And he's like, no, there's not. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. I liked that he didn't think she would shoot him.
That was great, yeah.
Yeah, and that whole standoff there, and he's like, "Oh, what you gonna do, kid? Oh man, I'm so unlucky. You shot me. I'm so sad. Why are people so mean to me?
I'm so sad. I didn't think you'd do it.
Why are you so mean to me? I'm so sad. I'm the main character of my story."
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck this guy. Shoot him again.
I quite liked her gun too. You know, if we're talking about action, we got to mention her gun, and it's a fuck off massive pistol.
Yeah.
That every time she fires it, she's just sent backwards because of the fucking power of that thing.
Yeah, it's great. That was a funny plot gun.
And the final action set piece is great. You've got John Wayne versus Ned Pepper. That was pretty fun.
Ooh, yeah, the whole thing where there's like 4v1.
Yeah.
That was pretty great.
That was great. And also, they used shaky cam in that action scene.
Yep.
I don't know if you noticed that, but they used like shaky cam, which is maybe the first time we've seen it this year. Maybe?
Yeah, I don't know. That scene's pretty silly because you have literally like two other main characters watching while he 4v1s. And 4v1s with guns, somehow he wins without getting shot. Like, what?
Yeah, it's because it's John Wayne.
This is John Wayne.
He can't ever lose.
He has the power of plot armor and therefore doesn't get shot by 4 people. They all miss. They don't even hit him once. They don't even damage him. It's like, that's very silly.
But the final action scene that's probably the most important is where she falls down into a hole. There's a snake in the hole. The bad guy also ends up down there. He dies. And they got to get her out of the hole where there's snakes and skeletons. That was a pretty good sequence, I thought. That was really good.
Yeah.
That was quite tense, it was very silly, but it was, it was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah. The movie's plot is very silly in this.
But I think I think the actions are really solid throughout the whole film. I'm feeling a 4.
4? Yeah, I was feeling a 3.5, but I'll give it a 4. Let's give it a 4, When there's action, the action's good.
Yeah, there's not much action, but when there is action, it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
And also, Matt Damon dies, and it's great.
Yep.
Butch Cassidy action.
We'll get to that in cowboy characters.
Butch Cassidy's action, though, fucking phenomenal.
Oh, absolutely. Great stuff. You got some great shootouts.
Yep.
You got great plans executed.
Yeah, like all the train scenes are really funny, but also have great explosions and great,
Yeah, blowing up some safes.
Yeah, everything in Bolivia is great. Like, all the action scenes where, like, they try to go straight, but then they're ambushed by bandits, that was great. The final shootout is fucking incredible.
Wow, what a great ending.
So good. It's just solid cowboy action the whole time. It's the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think that's kind of like the benchmark for good cowboy action stuff. But this is like just a step slightly below that. But I think it's pretty excellent. Plus, this movie's not about the action though. It's not about it.
Yeah. It's not even about the action, and it has good action.
Yeah. The long montage where they're robbing banks and
Yeah.
constantly getting chased by police. That was great.
Yeah. I like when Sundance shows off his shooting skills. We see that at the start of the film.
Yeah.
And later on as well. It's funny because a lot of their action is not really action. They're running away.
Yes.
They do a lot of running away.
It's true.
So I don't know if that goes against the film. Because it's not an action film. But it has action in it.
Yeah, that final shootout though, where like Sundance Kid just fucking kills like 10 people.
Yeah.
I don't know how realistic it is, because they are based on real people. But it was a great shootout. I'm feeling pretty high. 4.5? Maybe even 5?
I give it a 4.5.
Yeah.
Because if you're saying the good, the bad, the ugly is the benchmark, that must be 5, right?
That's probably a 5, yeah.
And this would be a 4.5.
Cowboy characters.
True Grit. Ooh.
So, Maddie Ross is the only character who's got any depth. She kind of goes on a journey, but also, does she? I don't think so. It's like a revenge story. That's about it.
I think the eye patch guy, he has a little bit of depth,
Kinda. He's a bit mean.
Yeah, that's his whole point, was he was like big tough guy, but then he's like, actually, I like this kid.
Yeah, actually, I do like this kid, though, actually.
Because he starts off with being, a bit of a jerk, but then he's like, hey, I actually like this kid. Because you have that turning point where she follows them, right? And the Texas Ranger's a big piece of shit, but he's like, you know what? This girl can come along. Fuck it. That's his, like, character arc there was, it's not a big one, but his whole, like, I don't like this girl into, actually, I do like this girl. That was his thing. The problem with this movie is that said Texas fucking Ranger.
Fucking LaBeef. I call him Mr. LaBeef. Look, the problem here is, I don't know if the movie wants you to like him or not.
No, it does.
It wants you to like him?
Yeah. Absolutely, Sandro. That's the whole point of the whole, like, death scene, is it's all tragic, right? When he dies.
Yeah, and, like, he tries to be, like, they get a weird friendship, him and Maddie.
Yeah.
But he's just the fucking There's a scene where he spanks her with a twig purely because she wants to ride with them.
Yeah.
And it's awkward. I don't like it.
It's bad, yeah.
This whole time I was like, this is a weird scene that I don't know what's going on.
Which makes the other guy more endearing, where he's like, stop spanking her, you're enjoying it too much.
Yeah, and I'm like, what's going on? There's so many scenes where he's like, if you weren't 14,
I'd be smooching you on the lips.
I'd be doing that. And I'm like, this guy fucking sucks. This guy's the worst.
He aged the film 100 years just by him existing.
If he was meant to be a bad guy, then that's great. If he's, like, meant to be, like, a corrupt law guy or something, if you're not meant to like him, great. You know, it works. But you are meant to like him, so.
No, you're definitely meant to like him, Sandro, because the whole thing is, like, the characters are flawed. Both him and the Texas Ranger and the law enforcement guy, they're not good people.
Yeah.
But throughout the film, you grow to like them, sort of thing. That's their whole point, right? Is, like... And they grow to like each other as like a group, right? As a team.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the film. The problem is, Texas guy is bad.
Yeah.
And his character's aged very poorly. And it's hard to like him when he's a big piece of shit.
Exactly. I would also even go as far as to say that, like, John Wayne's character in this, he's fine. Like, yeah, he's kind of a bad guy. He's a bit aggressive and whatever. But, like, by the end of the movie, you're meant to buy that she is like, you don't have anyone, you know? You don't have anyone. So how about when you die, you get buried right next to me and my dad? And I'm like, I don't believe for a second that their friendship is strong enough for that.
Oh, I do.
I don't know. I just didn't buy it.
I buy it. I bought it. He'd, like, charged 4 guys for them. He came back for them, you know? He didn't need to do that, you know? He defended her, and they went on this journey together, and he saved her life.
He did save her life, but, like, I don't know. Like, he was mainly doing it for the money. I don't know.
Yeah, but also, like, it's just chucking a dead body in a grave next to her. It's not that big a deal, I feel. Like, sure, it's important, but, like... I feel like it's a nice gesture. At that point, they're both dead, right? So who gives a shit, right?
That's true, I guess. I don't know. I was just like, I don't know.
That's the bit you didn't buy into this film? This is the crux of the film? This is the turning... You were like, I don't believe this shit. You know what? This shit's all fake. No one would allow themselves to be buried next to an old person. Fuck that.
No, that's when I was like, this movie, you know, Westerns are very historically accurate, you know.
Yeah.
All Westerns are. All Westerns, that's exactly what the Old West was like. But
absolutely,
I don't buy it for a second that these two are friends. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Well, I, an aficionado of Treasure Island, who have seen many Long John Silver and young Hawkins getting their friendship throughout the films, where two sides of a different sides can become friends, you know? I can believe that they are actually friends. And I think the Texas man is a piece of shit. I'm gonna rate these characters like a 3.
Oh man, we haven't even gone through all the characters though. It's like I got a couple more to mention before you rate it. Like the guy who sells her some ponies. He was pretty good. I liked him.
That's a side character. Don't care about him.
How about General Sterling Price, the cat?
Yep.
That's a good character.
How about the Asian stereotype, Sandro?
Yeah, what the fuck was that? John Wayne lives with this old Chinese guy, and
I mean, it's not bad. It's not the worst stereotype. He just uses chopsticks, and she goes, "Whoa, chopsticks!"
That's pretty much it.
Which is funny because the other guy is using his hands, so it feels like that scene was just to emphasize how uncivilized that other guy is.
Yeah,
which is pretty great.
What did you say? 3?
Yeah, I gave it a 3 because, I liked the villain being a big piece of shit. he was just like, he felt sorry for only himself.
Yeah.
Even at the start of the film, when he just shot the guy who employed him because he wanted to go shoot some people. And then later on, he feels zero remorse for his actions. I'm like, yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
So I was glad when he died.
I agree. I like the villains in True Grit. I think a bit more than the main characters even. I think they're actually kind of better written. Yeah, I think a 3 is good. Butch Cassidy, I mean, the 2 leads are great. They're great. Butch Cassidy's great. Sundance Kid's great. They don't really have that much depth, but also they're just kind of plain archetypes of the cowboys for the purpose of the movie. I think Etta is her name. She's good. She's a good character. She's got some good moments. She is just a woman in a western, so doesn't have a whole lot to do, but she's there. And every other character had kind of small moments, but even though most of the other characters are only in the movie for like 5 minutes each, and some of the characters aren't even shown on screen, they're just talked about, it's still excellent. For example, all throughout the movie, they're being chased by some sort of Suicide Squad. And on the Suicide Squad, you've got the Native American tracker. You never see him, but you know everything about him, and he's pretty cool.
The only time you, like, see quotation marks him is from a long distance away.
Yeah.
Where, like, he, like, gets off his horse and, like, looks at the ground, but you can't even see him. You can't even see what he's doing, really, but you understand and know what's happening.
Exactly. The same with the guy in the white hat, who's just following them around.
It's literally all you do is see him from a long distance away, and you can recognize him because he has a white hat.
He's got a white hat, and I just love the fact that the whole movie is just them being followed by a group of people, and it's very scary. It's just very scary. Anyway, I think, like, all the characters in this, while they don't have that much depth, they're very well written characters. What do you think?
5 out of 5. That's it. That's my only opinion on this. 5 out of 5.
I guess there's no bad characters, so...
Exactly.
Fuck it. Why not?
No, that's my one contribution. 5 out of 5. No objective only objective facts, no opinions. But Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids, they're such great characters. They're like jiving between each other. And again, there's no bad characters. I love the side characters, like that old man that they get to, like, distract the law enforcement as they come in.
Oh, that was so funny, yeah.
I liked all the side characters. You got the mayor of this town. He's trying to rally up the people to go and capture Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and failing. While Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid are like a roof away, just watching this rally to try and capture them. Meanwhile, a salesman just pops up and is like, "Hey, well, seeing as you can't get this crowd to do anything, I'm just going to use this limelight to show off my new invention that I'm selling.
I'm going to sell my bicycles."
Yeah.
Yeah. I think every character in this is just thought through. Even Mr. Harvey Logan, who takes over the gang for like one scene.
Yeah.
He's great. And that guy, he's Gorn. He plays the Gorn in that one episode of Star Trek where they wrestle.
Yeah.
He's good. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that it was him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. He's great because he's in only like one scene of that film.
Yeah.
But his whole thing is like he's tried to take over the gang. Butch Cassidy is like, "You're not taking over the gang." And he's like, "Well, you said any of us could challenge you." And he's like, "Well, I didn't expect any of you to actually do it." And then they have this like knife fight where Butch Cassidy tricks him by going, "So what are the rules?" And he's like, "There's no rules in a knife fight." And then Butch Cassidy's like, "Okay," and kicks him in the nuts.
Exactly, yeah.
And then Butch Cassidy's like, "So why did you guys go with him? What made you guys get convinced, that he would make a good leader?" And he's like, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he came up with this plan to go rob this train." And Butch Cassidy's like, "Wow, that's a great idea. Let's do that." Which is such a great scene. It's so good. Anyway, not biased. 5 out of 5 for characters.
All right, let's speed through the next few. We got Cowboy Friendshipness. Both movies are about unlikely friendships. In True Grit, I don't even buy the friendship. I don't even fucking buy it. It's fine. It's not even a father-daughter relationship. It's just, I hired you. We're kind of friendly towards each other. That's all it is. I'm giving it a 2.
Ooh, okay.
I'm giving it a 2.
I don't buy the Texas Ranger friendship. I think that one fails because he's a big piece of shit.
Yeah.
But I get the whole, like, going on an adventure and growing, like, closer together. Like, he literally saves her life. And they're both endearing characters. The eye patch guy and the kid. So I'll give it a 2.5. I'll raise it up to a 0.5.
All right.
Like, they go on the journey, they do the motions, right? So I'll allow them to have a bit of friendship.
And then for Butch Cassidy, I think you buy into their friendship, from the get-go.
Oh, absolutely. They have one of the most organic friendships I've seen of any of the movies this year.
Yeah, and I like how at the start of the movie, I think it's just after the first train heist, they're like, they're talking, and they tell each other what their actual, like, names are, and slowly they're actually learning stuff about who they are outside of their outlaw persona, just during the whole movie, and I thought that was really cool,
Yeah. Like, they talk about joining the Spanish War, and then he slips his real name, and he's like, what? What did you fucking call yourself? And he's like, oh, yeah, that's my real name. And he's like, oh, well, this is my real name. There you go. And they grow closer, even though they already feel so close. I'm going to highlight one of my favorite scenes from the movie where Sundance Kid and the girl bang, and then next morning, Butch Cassidy takes her out for a bike ride.
Yeah, this was a weird scene.
I'd say both the montages in this film are the weird points of the film. Like, why does this film have montages?
I don't really know. Well, the montage in this one, though, the bicycle montage is like a throwback to 1920s vaudeville, slapstick
like,
comedy.
I get why they're in. Yeah, it's funny. And, like, the non-audio, like, he crashes into the bullpen, and then he has to pedal out while the bull's chasing him.
That was so funny. The zoom on the bull's eyeball was the funniest moment in the whole movie.
Yeah, it's very silly. It's very cute. But after that, they come back, and she's like, oh, Butch Cassidy, maybe if we had met first, maybe we could have been lovers, sort of thing. And then they kiss. And then Sundance Kids come out, and it's like, what's going on here? And then the movie's like, oh no. And then Butch Cassidy's like, I'm stealing your girl. And he's like, take her.
Yeah, because they're in a weird throuple where they're not really in a throuple, but they are. That's what's going on here.
Because they're in a bromance. They're in a bromance. So he trusts him, and he's like, well, aren't you a romantic? You're some... And I was like, that's the funniest scene in the film. That's great lines.
I think the friendship here is, it's pretty good, and I would even go so far as to say they start off as work friends and then become actual friends by the end of the movie.
I don't want to give this a 5 out of 5 again, because I already pushed a 5 out of 5, but maybe we go back, give that a 4.5, and I give this a 5 out of 5.
I'm happy to do that, or I'm also happy to just give this a 5 out of 5 straight, and I've done it, I've put it on the board, you can't take it back.
That's fine, as long as this is, like, I feel like their friendship is what, through the power of friendship, they fucking fuck.
Alright, they do, because they are in love with each other. Next one is cowboy tragicness. Tragicness in True Grit is the dad dies. That's pretty much it. I don't really give a fuck about the other guy dying.
Well, no, here's the thing, right, Sandro? I think that's a negative to the tragicness because the Texas Ranger dies, right? But we don't give a shit. So clearly the movie's failed with the Texas Ranger.
It's trying to be tragic, but it's not working. It gets a 1.5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Savage.
Tries to be tragic, doesn't really work. Butch Cassidy, I mean, they both die at the end.
Yeah.
So that's pretty tragic. But also the whole point of Butch Cassidy is that they are kind of irrelevant now, and they don't know what to do. There's that scene where there's like, you could try and start a farm, and they're like, don't know how to. You could maybe do a ranch. Don't know how to. How about you do this? I don't know how to do that. All I know how to do is to shoot and steal. And so we're going to go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah. It's a really good story because you have these two characters which are banditers and they're doing well, but it's coming to the end of their time. And they try and come up with other ways of living. where they don't end up on the wrong side of the law.
Yeah.
But it's all they know how to do, so they constantly end up just through circumstances being on the wrong end of the law and like stealing. Obviously, they could stop stealing stuff, but like, again, they try and come up with ideas, but they don't know. They even try working at one point. They work in these like mines or what. They work as like protection, and they still fail at that. They still get ambushed, and then they just steal the money back. And they end up being outlaws. And it is like a tragedy, because in the end, it ends up killing them.
Yep, exactly.
And they go out in this blaze of glory, and it's like a tragic ending, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah. I really liked how before they go to Bolivia, she's like, I'll come with you, but I don't want to watch you die. I'm not going to be here for that. And then as soon as they're like, we don't know what else to do but this, she's like, I'm going back to America, bye, because she knows that they're going to die. And then they die. So I thought that was quite good.
Watching their plight, because it's their plight, you know, it's not tragic in itself. It's just like, what would happen? You know, it's like they don't have anywhere else to go. This is the end of the line for them, and they can't figure out how to get out of it. So it's like inevitable.
Yeah.
And that's the tragedy of everything, is it's just inevitable.
And I'm going to give this a 4.5.
4.5, okay. I was going to give it a 4, but you could give it a 4. We could give it a 4.5.
4.5. Next category is cowboy music. True Grit, don't remember.
What? What, dude? The opening song of True Grit is so fucking good, though.
No, it is good. The music is by Elmer Bernstein. He's great. He does heaps of great.
You fucking bamboozled me. I thought you were actually going to give True Grit, like, low points for the music. And I was like, that was the one bit I thought True Grit won on, was the fucking music.
The True Grit, I mean, it's the guy who did Ghostbusters and, like, fucking The Great Escape and stuff. It's good music.
Dude, that opening song was a fucking banger.
The opening song's good. It builds up the westernness of the mood. There's so many shots of them just riding around to music.
It literally goes, when you find a man with true grit. And I was like, oh, shit.
It's the name of the movie.
It's the name of the movie. Damn.
No, definitely.
They got a whole song made for the movie, and it's a fucking banger.
It's a pretty good, it's a pretty good song. It's like a 4. I think the music across this whole movie is really solid.
Look, I want to give them a little bit more points. I'm gonna give them a 4.5.
All right, 4.5 is fine. Speaking of music, though, I forgot to mention this when we went to characters, but we do have Glenn Campbell, who is a country musician, playing the role of the Beef.
Yeah.
But originally, Elvis Presley was going to play that character.
Whoa.
Because Elvis loved being in westerns. Was he good in them? Probably not, but he was in a lot of westerns. And
that could have been worse, I guess. Could have been better.
Could have been better or worse. They were like, Elvis can't be in this because the producers of the movie were like, he will be credited third because the other two characters are more important. And so Elvis Presley was like, I'm not going to be the main character in this. I'm out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It was Butch Cassidy music. Raindrops falling on my bloody head. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah. Look, the music was good in this one as well. I just want to give True Grit a bone, you know? Like, but the music was pretty good in this one as well. Nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Just your classic Western tracks.
Well, no, I don't think so. I think a lot of the music in this is very Western-y, but then also not at all, because the guy who did the soundtrack was Burt Bacharach, who also did the soundtrack to Casino Royale that we did 2 weeks ago. Same guy.
Okay.
And, like, he wrote the song Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head for the song, and people at the time were like, why the fuck is this in a Western? This song doesn't feel like it's a Western song. Like, it feels like almost the soundtrack of the movie is modern because they're in a modern world and the Western world is no longer important. You know what I mean?
Deep. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that one random montage, I think it's when they're doing crimes in Bolivia, where it's like an a cappella group.
Yeah, that was really weird. I was going to mention that scene because okay, I'll talk about the montages now, because there's 3 montages in the movie. There's the bicycle montage, there's the them going to Bolivia.
That was great.
Yeah. Which is really random and very funny that's in the film.
Well, because it's all shown through, like, still images.
Yeah, black and white photographs.
Yeah.
And, like, we see the characters in random, like, situations, like they're at a ball or something, you know.
That's very cool. I liked that one.
And the bank robbing in Bolivia, which had that sort of backing, which almost felt like that was added in post. They were like, they didn't like the audio for it, but I think they had planned for it to not have audio.
Probably. I really enjoyed it. A lot of the big moments in Butch Cassidy don't have a soundtrack to them.
Yeah.
Like the scene where they're trying to run away from the group that's after them. There's just no music for that whole, like, 20-minute sequence.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's
interesting. I think you're giving it like a 3 or a 3.5.
I think a 3.5 is what I'm going to give it, I think.
Yeah. I think it, like, because the music isn't, like, amazing, like, you know, crazy stuff, but it was nice. It was good, and they had some good moments with it as well. It was just like, it was more like back and track, you know, and I had zero problems with it.
Hey all you guys, gals and non-binary pals.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Maddie, and we're the hosts of WTF is Happening,
Australia's #1 pop culture podcast, as voted by our mums.
We're here to be your weekly 60-minute pop culture catch-up.
You can expect stories from our personal lives that basically guarantee we'll never get a date.
Legendary guest interviews where we find out which cultural moments shaped their lives.
And honestly, just a touch of, like, chaotic, frantic energy.
Now, as soon as you're done with the iconic podcast you're listening to right now...
go and listen and subscribe to us.
Agreed.
Cute.
All right, this might have to be our last category, but it's Cowboy Yikers Moments.
Cowboy Yikers Moments.
This is where we talk about everything that hasn't aged well.
Yeah.
True Grit, why the fuck is he spanking her with a twig? I don't get it. I don't like it.
Well, yeah, that's because you're punishing a child, and when you punish a child, you spank them, right? It's just aged poorly because we don't do that anymore because, you know, it's abusive.
Yeah, but, like, if you're doing that, it should be a parent, not some random guy. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm like, I don't like this. He's just a random dude.
Well, like, it's like a school, right? They switched people at school.
Yeah, but he's a random dude who's shown interest in her.
Yeah.
Previously. And I'm like, that's gross. She's 14.
Well, yeah, if you're putting that into it, it definitely makes it worse. Absolutely. But he's just switching her with a twig.
Yeah.
Like, back then, it wouldn't have been so bad. His comments earlier where he's like, if you weren't so young, I was thinking of kissing you on the lips, but you're actually rude, so I don't want to kiss you anymore. And it's like, ooh.
Yeah, not because you're 14, but because you're being rude to me. That's why. You got the old Chinese man. Not that yikers, but a little bit yikers. Just a touch. She calls her horse Little Blackie, which is yikers. Don't do that. Don't like that.
Well, I mean, it's a child and it's a black horse, so...
Yeah, but it's a Western, so it's racist.
Oh, absolutely. And, like, she didn't call it that. The writers called it that.
There's a little bit of Native American racism.
There's the start of the film where you've got, like, the servant guy.
Yeah, him as well.
Yeah.
But the worst moment in the movie is where she's captured by Ned Pepper. Ned Pepper gives her to the guy who killed her dad, and there's like, you two stay here, we're just gonna go drop these guys off and then we'll come back for you. And, you know, he's the bad guy, so he's like, oh, I killed your dad, I'm gonna kill you too. And she's like, oh my god, no. But she's like, well, clearly you're working for Pepper, right? You're working for Pepper, he's gonna give you money. And so she says the line, if you molest me, he won't pay you.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps calling John Wayne fat during the whole movie as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say in terms of yikers, obviously I think you want to score the amount of yikers you've got, the lower your score gets, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The lower score you get is because you've got the most yikers. So this is like a 1.
I reckon this is probably like a 1.5, honestly. 1.5, 1.
1.5? Yeah.
Because the movie is a little bit of a feminist movie with a woman cowboy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. It should give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
There's like the female lead, and we can appreciate that.
Moving on to yikers moments from Butch Cassidy, there is none. Aside from one scene.
Whoa, no.
This scene, so Butch Cassidy, he's at a brothel. He's getting it on, fuck it up, I guess. Meanwhile, Sundance Kid breaks into a random woman's home. And you're like, oh no, what are you doing?
Uh-oh.
She comes home, she starts undressing, he's watching, he's like,
Oh,
he
no.
pulls a gun on her, she notices, and he's like, well, bloody, keep going, Miss Teacher Lady.
Oh, no.
And I was uncomfortable as fuck. I was like, I was not expecting this in my movie.
Oh, absolutely. So was I. I was like, what the fuck is going on? This movie was going so well up until this point. What the fuck?
Anyway, it turns out that they're dating, and this is just a thing he does. Which
He's just pranking her.
like she plays into it, so that I guess she's fine.
It's like a
she's
kink
fine
thing.
with it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm like,
Look, a fake out rape scene is still a rape scene till the fake out, right?
it is. I don't like this scene. Cut it out from the movie. It doesn't add anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, it did not. It did not.
But aside from that, I think it aged very well. I think this movie, it's not even racist.
Well, that's it. That's it. Yeah. They literally go to Bolivia and are like, oh shit, we don't know the fucking language.
Yeah.
Fuck. And they have to learn the language. It's great.
I guess maybe the fact that Bolivia is shown to be quite poor might be a little, but not really, because that's kind of where they went.
No, they go to like a fancy restaurant.
Yeah, like, it's aged well. The only thing is, like, they do call Native Americans Indians, but, like, again, it was the time.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if you could say that. I don't know.
No, I think that film could be released today and it would do quite well.
For sure.
Except for that rape scene. So
Aside from that one scene, so out of 5 stars, how much do you think that fake out scene affects this rating?
4. I think it's a 4. It's definitely like a big pointer.
For sure.
Because that one was... look, this is the yikers section, and that was the biggest... That, like, after that scene, I was like, what? Whoa, what? Why would you do that? I was thinking the whole time, I'm like, how do you save this?
Yep.
How do you save this character? Because it's meant to be an endearing character, right? We meant to like this character. How do you save it? And then it's like, oh, they actually know each other. They're lovers. Oh, okay. But still, it's like, no.
No, not great. Not a great moment.
So, 4.
4. For True Grit, out of 5, what would you give it for its cowboyness?
Oh, cowboyness. I would give it a declining 4.
Ooh, a declining 4, because they are indeed law enforcement officers, which is very cowboy-y,
Yeah.
but not cowboyness.
Yes.
I agree. 4 for True Grit. For Butch Cassidy, those are 2 cowboys. That's 5 out of 5.
I would give it a cowboys are declining 5 out of 5.
Oh, I agree. And the final category is cowboy Red Deadness.
Ah!
Now, True Grit feels like a
Like
side quest from Red Dead, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5.
All right. You know what? I'll give you that one because I haven't played as much Red Dead as you. I certainly did play a bit of it. I need to get back into it. What a good game. There's just a lot in that game I need to go through, you know?
It's a big one.
It's a big one. Okay, yeah, 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 for True Grit. Because, like, it just kind of feels like I guess, actually not really, because the main characters are law enforcement officers, but also you can work for the law in Red Dead, so it is still very Red Dead. Yeah.
No, it's Red Dead because you've got the big murdering bad guy as the law enforcement guy, right?
That's true. It's a good point.
It's like this side character, this girl, has come up to you in Red Dead and is like, hey, I heard you're working for the law enforcement at the moment. Can you please help me get revenge because my dad died? And then you go on this adventure and you pick up this random Texas Ranger guy who dies and you're like, thank God.
Indeed.
And then, yeah. Maybe a 4.5. Maybe.
All right, I'll drop it down to 4.5.
Yeah.
They never do any big crime, so it's not true Red Deadness. For Butch Cassidy, Red Deadness, pretty high, because the plot of Butch Cassidy is pretty much just the plot of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
In that the West is over.
I would also give it a 4.5.
I feel like 4.5 is good, because they are indeed banditos, and they are shooting people, but they go to Bolivia, and everyone knows Red Dead only takes place in America, so loses a couple points there. Loses a couple points.
But the plot is essentially they are cowboys in a declining cowboy world, and they have to leave their home to go to a new place to establish themselves as cowboys there, you know?
That's true. That's the whole point of Red Dead. And also, they are in a 5-star chase with the law for about half of the movie, which is very Red Dead.
That's true. So I'll give it a 4.5. I'll give it a 4.5.
I think 4.5 is good. I think 4.5. And that is all of the objective facts done.
Excellent.
I've now got to add everything up while Zach fills time.
So in True Grit, my favorite scene is when the guy's about to blab on the other bandit, and so the other bandit goes crazy with a knife and just stabs him.
That was a good scene.
That was pretty wild. My favorite scene in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, aside from the whole, like, I'm stealing your girl, and it's like, take her. Because that was a good one. I really liked the train conductor. So they rob the train once, and they go to the safe, right?
Oh, wait, I thought you were talking about the train driver who's like, I'm just a big fan. I want to watch you rob my train.
I mean, that's good as well. The whole scene's just great. But no, they go to the safe at the back of the train, but they have to get in the secure carriage.
Yeah,
and there's a guy behind the thing, and they're like, open up or we're going to have to blow it up. And he's like, I'm sorry, but I can't let you in. I've got explicit orders. And he's like, yeah, but like, I'm going to blow it up anyway, so you might as well open it. And he's like, I'm still not going to do it. And he's like, okay, we'll stand back. We're about to blow up the door. They blow up the door. They get in. And he's like, are you okay there, buddy? And he's like, yeah, I'm okay. And there's like, okay, good, buddy. You sit tight. They don't pay you enough for this. And then they steal the money. They rob a train again, and it's the same guy. And the Butch Cassidy's like, hey, it's a buddy. Hey, buddy old pal. And then he tricks him into opening the door.
Exactly.
And it's great, because they meet the same character again, which is very funny to me.
That's very funny. I agree. I think it's a fun time.
It's good to see. I love that Butch Cassidy was just like, hey, it's our buddy. It's the guy, you know? And they're like good buds. And it's like, yeah.
All right, well, I've got the final scores here. It's out of a possible 50.
Oh, and the like guy guarding the safe is like, you know what? If I was gonna have my money robbed by any bandit, it would be you. I would want you to rob me, you know? And I was like, that's a great line. I just love like casualness in these sort of movies. Yes.
Just people being like, I'm getting robbed. All right, fuck it, let's go. You know?
Yeah.
That sort of stuff is great. All right. It's time for the results of the bonus battle.
The bonus battle conclusion.
Even though we gave one an oldie and a goodie, so it's obvious what won and what didn't.
Well,
coming in.
Well, that was our opinion, Sandra.
That was our opinions.
Let's see if the science matches up with our opinions.
That's right. Out of a possible 50 points, on 31 out of 50, which is still positive, is True Grit.
31 out of 50. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. That's like a 3 out of 5, which is what I would rate it.
Yeah, that's pretty much aligns with my rating. Wow, there you go.
And coming in with 43.5 points,
Woo.
And I do famously hate 0.5s, it is Butch Cassidy, 43.5, which is actually a little bit lower than what I would rate it personally.
Yeah, there you go. Well, 4.4, because you round out the 0.5, you know, and then I'm like, that's probably what I'd rate it.
Yeah.
There you go. Once again, science matches up with the facts, you know? It's
Wow, who'd have thought that objective science matches with
our opinions.
Our
opinions are just objectively the best, I guess.
That's right. And that's the whole episode, and that's also the end of the year.
There you go.
Oh my god, we're done. But not really, because, Zach, you've got to pick another movie for February, actually, though.
For February? Oh, that's a while away.
That's right. So usually what we do at the end of the year is we do like a recap episode, but as you've noticed, this one's coming out on Christmas, so we don't really have time to do a recap episode. And that's because, well, we are going to do a recap episode, but because we are continuing next year from 1970 to 2000, we'll do a recap episode at the end of all that, and we'll do the entire series all in one, all of it, because we did all the years.
Yeah.
We'll do a massive one.
Yeah.
At the end.
It'll be good.
It's going to be good. We are going to be taking a little bit of a break for the next month. For all of January, we'll be off, but all of the Evil Dead Patreon episodes are going to be coming out, so
yeah,
look forward to those over the next 5 weeks. But we will be back in February as we start with 1970. And Zach, it is up to you to pick what that movie is, and we may as well do it now.
Okay. All right, let's have a look. What movies are in 1970, Sandra?
Well, you got quite a few. You've got a movie called Scrooge.
Scrooge McDuck?
No.
Oh, the original Scrooge.
It's Christmas Carol.
Good old Scrooge, a classic. What about Beneath the Planet of the Apes?
I think they kind of fell off around that point, honestly.
Ooh,
Yeah,
fell
yeah.
off? Damn.
What about Beyond the Valley of the Dolls?
What the shit is that?
About three girls who come to Hollywood to make it big, but they only find sex, drugs, and sleaze. Because we are getting into the 70s, which is when movies started to get a little bit independent. Because movies got too expensive.
Man, there's a lot of good movies because we have Two Mules for Sister Sarah.
Oh, that's a good name for a film.
That's a Clint Eastwood Wild West, if we want to keep that one going.
What if we do Tora Tora Tora, which is the Japanese Pearl Harbor movie?
Probably one that's a bit more realistic. What about the Dunwich Horror?
Ooh, that could be fun. That could be fun.
Which looks like your classic like monster horror movie with a Medusa's head.
You could do The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, which is a Italian horror film.
What about the Aristocrats? The Aristocats.
Ooh, the Aristocrats.
No, Aristocats.
Oh,
Aristocats.
I don't care then. I only care about the Aristocrats.
Yeah, sorry, I mispronounced that for you. No, I'm talking about the Disney classic, the Aristocats.
What about the Railway Children? Bunch of kids are on a train.
What about Taste the Blood of Dracula?
Ooh, that could be good. That could be good. Man, I'm looking at these movies. There's a lot of low-budget, kind of independent movies, which is getting me very excited for next year.
Yeah, it's pretty good. There's a lot of good stuff coming out.
There's a lot of good stuff, but Zach, you've only got to pick one. Which one are you gonna bloody pick? Is it gonna be Airports, a movie about a bomber on a plane? And that movie is what Airplane, featuring Leslie Nielsen, directly makes fun of. That's what that movie directly makes fun of. That's right.
No. I'm going to pick Elvis. That's the way it is.
Don't pick an Elvis movie.
Oh, dear. No, but Sandro.
What?
It's me, Arnold.
Why are you doing an Arnie voice? We haven't done an Arnie movie in like two years.
I know, we haven't done an Arnold movie, so we have to do an Arnold movie. I'm bringing you back to the classic, his first film ever.
Wait, there's an Arnie movie from 1970?
There is, it's literally his first movie that he ever made.
Ooh.
We are going to do Hercules in New York.
Oh my god, this is Arnold's first ever movie. This is his first one.
Yeah, Hercules in New York. Have you seen it?
I haven't. I hadn't even heard of it.
Oh, you haven't?
Honestly.
I've seen this film.
You've seen this before?
Yeah, I've seen this film before because it was Arnold's first movie. So I think I, looked it up.
Is it good?
No. But it's Arnold's first movie, so it's quite funny.
He plays Hercules, who comes to New York and becomes a bodybuilder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Hercules, he comes to New York and is like trying to figure out what the fuck's going on and doesn't know anything because he's dumb Hercules in New York, right? But then he just becomes a bodybuilder because he's insanely strong.
That's so funny.
I don't want to spoil anything, but he does like something strong and someone else is like, oh, you're really strong. You should be a bodybuilder, you know?
All right, well, in February, we're doing Hercules in New York. Until then, make sure to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, at Oldie Buddy Goodie Pod, on everything. You can go to patreon.com/Oldie Buddy Goodie Pod if you want. I would say sign up in the new year because we are changing a couple things in January, but sign up there. You can get ad-free episodes, you can get early episodes, and you can get our entire back catalog of bonus episodes, including all those Evil Dead reviews. If you hear the first one next week and you're like, I want to hear them all now, you can. Go to Patreon. You got some new episodes, some new Patreon episodes up there too, including Friday the 13th Part 7. We did that one last week. That's up now. Go check that out. It was a movie.
It definitely was a movie. I watched it. It was very movie.
It was very movie, and yeah, man, there's just so much up there. There's like the K-dramas.
The K-dramas. I can't wait for later on this year. We do a little bit of K-drama 2, K-drama 3.
That's right, we're doing K-drama 3. Yeah, K-drama 3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah. K-drama 3. Oh,
that's right.
Can't wait.
And on Patreon, we are only going to be doing one episode a month for the next year, aside from K-Drama 3, which will start around mid-year. That's the only place where you're going to be able to get new content from us in January is Patreon. There's a bonus episode coming out, kind of like mid-January, I think. I don't know what we're doing on that, because the poll hasn't gone up by the time that we've recorded, but I'm sure it'll be something funny. Like Killer Condom. That'd be pretty funny.
Killer Condom! Killer Condom!
Wouldn't that be hilarious if we have to watch that?
Gotta wear protection, but how can you protect yourself from the protection?
Oh, from the Exactly. That's gonna be pretty funny. Anyway. Plus some other things to plug as well, outside of our usual stuff. Reese Parton, who you've probably heard from the Bond episodes.
I've heard him before.
Reese and I have another podcast called Aussie Nerds Talk Stuff. There are new episodes out reviewing the brand new Doctor Who specials.
Oh, Pog.
So check that out. The 60th anniversary ones is out now. The Christmas special is out soon. Zach, you'd love the Christmas special because there's goblins on a pirate ship.
Goblins on a pirate ship? Those are like two of my favorite things. Monkey goblins. Oh my goodness.
And in the new year, make sure that you subscribe to Aussie Nerds Talk Stuff, because in the new year, Zach, you're going to be coming on doing some more Bond movies, because you don't know enough about Bond. You need to know more Bond, Zach.
I don't even know who even is Bond. I don't even... Secret Agents? Never heard of them.
Like, you've watched 3 of them with Reese and I now. The Living Daylights, Dr. No, Casino Royale doesn't really count, but you've watched it.
Casino Royale does not count.
You just don't know enough about Bond, so you gotta know more.
I'm pretty sure every Bond movie after this will be exactly like Casino Royale, which means all of them are bad. Until I'm proven otherwise.
Well, then we got to prove you otherwise.
I have watched Skyfall, so I know that's not the case.
And also, on top of that, I've got a musical duo called Kegel and Greg. We've got an EP that's out.
No.
It's out. There's an EP. It's called Scattershot. Go listen to it, I guess.
You mean you helped Kegel and Greg make that? Because are not... Yeah.
I ghost wrote it.
Yeah. Oh, you're the ghostwriter. Whoa. Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anyone.
Sandro's secret ghostwriter.
And it's called Kegel and Greg and Dan Durson Scattershot EP. Check that out. It's out everywhere right now, I think. It was probably out last week, but we're banking them and I forgot to mention it. That's the whole episode.
Fantastic. You have a very Merry Christmas and financially fruitful year.
All right, well, we've done the bonus battle, so now I guess we can do the showdown. I think I know enough now. I think.
Yeah. After studying these movies, I think we've got this in the bag, Sandro.
Oh, are you gonna join me for the showdown?
Of course. Oh. Like that's the whole point of me being here. So it'd be even, right?
Excellent.
You think I'm gonna give Harry Grindle Matthews his body back for the duel?
That's a good point. All right, Harry's, where are you? We're ready for the duel. Come on out.
What? Did someone call my name? I was too busy making a plate blueprint.
Yes, you're very good at making plates.
It's a circle, if you didn't know. Some of them are squares and other irregular shapes, so actually it took me a long time.
Yep. It took you an abnormally long time. I forgot how long it took me to design plates.
Yeah, a couple of hours or something.
Yeah. Takes you a while to make those plates, it's true.
Approximately the time that it takes to talk about True Grit and Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
Approximately, yes.
That's 2 films, by the way. Butch Cassidy is not one film, and the Sundance Kid a separate film. It's actually Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
But now
it's
time
like
for the duel
Batman
now.
And
we're getting to the duel where we murder Sandro.
And then it's like Turner and Hooch. That's one film, but it's got an and in it, so it's not talking about 2 separate films.
Oh, I certainly hope that you've got some sort of, like, big reveal or something, because I don't think we're going to be able to get through a showdown with the Orphan on this tangent.
Yes. With my previous self's excellent plate expertise, we have constructed the ultimate device to defeat you, Sandro.
And the Pussycat.
No, not that one. That one was for after we killed Sandro.
Oh, I'm just giving examples of films with an "and" in it, so you're not confused about Butch Cassidy and
Yeah, we got that bit.
and the Sundance Kid.
Okay. No, okay. We got that bit. There's two.
Sundance.
Yes.
Sundro dance.
They watched two movies. We got that. They watched two movies.
Sundance Kid.
Yes. And now it is time for us to do the final showdown, the duel, and do the big reveal.
Final showdown time. Let's do it. It's what's been leading up to.
You remember, younger me, the reveal that we were going to do to defeat Sandro, yes?
Wait, we're not going to do a showdown. You've got another reveal.
The showdown is as a result of the reveal, which you would know if you waited to listen.
Yeah, get him, younger me.
Right.
But yes, finally we shall defeat you here on the moon, quotation marks.
What do you mean quotation marks? What have you done to the moon?
Because while you've been podcasting, you haven't noticed, but everything is oddly ceramic, wouldn't you say? Oddly spherical and or cubical and or oblong.
The moon is feeling a curiously little bit flat, wouldn't you say?
I would say that, but I am a flat earther, so I assumed that would be the case.
Yes. I accounted for this, hoping you wouldn't notice. But you see, the moon is actually a giant plate.
Plate?
Oh my god, what? The moon is a plate?
Yes, when I was making my factory, it was secretly not to make plates on the moon, but to make plates of the moon.
Oh my god! So did you blow up the moon and replace it with a plate?
No, we sort of just mined it for its minerals and then sculpted it into a giant plate using advanced ceramic techniques.
I can't believe I didn't notice this during the past.
Yeah, it was very loud.
It was very obvious.
Yeah, you're very unattentive.
We had to transport an even bigger kiln through to the moon.
Yeah, it's like the size of the Death Star, that thing. It's crazy.
Oh my god, so you've replaced the sun with a giant kiln?
No, we harnessed the sun's power for the giant kiln.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Wait, so what is your plan for this plate, then?
We were going to smash you with it.
Oh!
Yeah, we're gonna pound you into the plate.
In the ultimate ironic act of revenge, you who liked smashing plates so much will be smashed by a plate.
That's so ironic. I love it. I mean, I hate it. That's so evil of you two. Zach, what's your opinions on this?
This would probably be a great time to tell you that I actually fixed the time travel device.
Oh, fucking finally. I was meant to review movies until 1969 so that I could travel back to 2023. So finally you fixed it. We can do it. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. I fixed it like 2 episodes ago, but I thought the format was pretty good. So I kept it going for a bit. But yeah, here it is. Look, I've got the time travel device ready to go. It just needs a few adjustments now that the moon is actually a giant plate. That might interfere with things.
That's right. Take that, Harry Grindle Matthews. What do you have to say to yourself? I've foiled you once again.
No! Our plans! Younger me, this is all your fault!
How's it my fault? I'm not the one who's got all the experience of being an adult. It's your fault.
Yeah, well, we are the same person, so if it's my fault, it's still your fault.
Yeah, but technically it's not, because I haven't evolved into being the person whose fault it is yet.
That's true. Your frontal cortex has not developed yet.
That's right. I don't even know what a frontal cortex is. That's how undeveloped it is.
Yes, I can tell you're very undeveloped, that's for sure.
Yes, I'm not taking that as an insult because it's true and I am a child.
Zach, we gotta go. I mean, technically you're a teenager, but that's fine. Zach, we gotta go.
Oh, okay, I'm a teenager, but it's same thing. Teenagers are children, really.
I was a late bloomer, okay? I was a late bloomer. And Sandro, I'm sending you back to the future now. Oh, it's whirring up. I can hear the beeps.
Oh, I can hear it beeping and booping too.
Oh, it's getting a bit warm. Whoa!
Oh, you dropped it, and it's slowly dropping towards the surface.
Oh, it's dropping really slowly because of the gravity. We could probably easily dive and grab it.
It's dropping so slowly towards the surface of the moon. But Zach, if that hits the moon, is it gonna blow up?
No, it probably just shattered dramatically.
Oh no, the moon's gonna break.
You're going to ruin the tides.
Where am I?
Oh, Sandro, you're finally awake.
What? What do you mean, finally awake? What is that beeping? Am I in a hospital?
Yeah. You've been in a coma for like a year.
For a year? What do you mean? We were back in time. We were killing Harry Grindle Matthews on the moon because of all the plates.
What? Who are you talking about? What the? No, that was all a dream, Sandra. You've been in a coma for a year. I dropped a experimental device on your head at the start of the year before we did any podcasting, and well, you fell asleep the whole year.
What? But the orphan, who looked a lot like Ben, but as a child, but with Ben's adult face, was there.
Oh, yeah, Ben's here. Ben's been by your side pretty much the whole year.
Sandra, I'm so glad that you're finally awake. It's been really hard on all of us to see you there with your eyes closed, with the tubes coming out of your mouth and nose.
It's true.
It's been really traumatizing, actually, so I'm glad that bit is finally over.
Oh, no. Oh.
Yeah, we've been feeding you, well, trying to feed you all of this food from the hospital on these beautiful white plates, but unfortunately it couldn't fit in your mouth, so we had to use yet more tubes. So it's really fantastic that you're back in the land of the living.
Yeah, I'm here. It's great. Oh, look, I'm right next to a window, and out of the window I can see all my friends. Nate is out there, Rob, Zach, Chloe, Jack, Valaris, Jacob.
Yep, he's here.
Sandy.
Yep.
Robert.
Yep.
Han.
Yep.
Luke and Reese.
Yep.
They're all out there.
Yeah.
Everyone who was on the podcast this year.
What podcast? We didn't do a podcast. You were knocked out for a year.
Oh, I mean, it was in my head. It was a... Does that mean that we have to do the whole season again?
We didn't do a season, so it wouldn't be again.
Technically, you'll be doing it for the first time, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Ben.
You're so welcome. I am the logical continuity officer.
Yeah. I'm glad to have you here when Sandro wakes up. He's always a bit, ditzy when he wakes up.
Well, he's always a bit ditzy when he's woken up anyway.
Yeah.
That's rude.
That's it.
That's it. I'm going back into a coma. Where's a plate?
No, Sandro, come back. Sandro, we need to record an episode for this year, We needed to... The fans are waiting, We gotta get back to work.
When is it? It's Christmas Day of 2023.
That's true.
Why, I think I'm going to need approximately 5 weeks to recover from this, so we'll be back in February to review movies from 1970 to 2000.
That seems fair. I'll see you all next time.
See you all next time.